I welcome everyone who have come here and who want to learn about DeFi space, because in last more than 3 months, DeFi space has grown like anything, and the popularity has grown so much that people have made a lot of money. But it's not about just making money; it's about like a lot of people are scratching their heads still that what exactly is this DeFi, why it has taken so much hype in just few months of time, and why this was not was visible by anyone before this. So I think this is a very amazing time to witness this DeFi revolution and DeFi expansion. And it's going to be a very good session for all of us to learn from Prateek, as well as and we are going to interact with the audience is live here. So whoever will have the questions, I request that please note down their questions and ask the questions at the end of the session. Okay, we will try to cover it as soon as possible because we understand IPL is also going on, and but we will make sure that whatever topics we are covering, these topics are going to help you out in understanding DeFi from scratch, because the knowledge about DeFi in a very sequential manner is still lagging. No one is able to I would say crack the code that what exactly is DeFi and in which direction should a person move on, and how to choose the projects, right? And which different categories of DeFi ecosystems are there. So we have worked very hard on creating the whole schedule, whole curriculum of DeFi, and we have come up with this special presentation as well as the hands-on experience for you. We will do some hands-on practical hands-on transactions in front of you so that you can understand how to use these DeFi products in a practical manner. So I welcome Prateek Jain here, who is co-founder of Just DeFi and who has worked with Blockstack and Neo in the past. And he will explain like what was his experience in the blockchain industry so far. But as far as I have seen working him very closely, he's quite active in the blockchain space. I think since more than 3 years now, in at least in my knowledge, and he is very active in DeFi space very recently. Probably he can explain best about himself now. I welcome Prateek, and he is going to take the session today. And wherever will be required, I will be there here as well as a host. Yeah, here over to you, Prateek.
Yeah, thank you, Vinder, for the kind words. So, hey guys, Prateek here. I started my crypto and blockchain journey back in 2017, and before that, I was running health wealth management startup of my own in mutual fund industry. And like coming back to the crypto industry, I came at a time when Bitcoin was trading around, I think, around $2,000, and then I bought some Bitcoin, obviously, just like everyone. And then I got into the whole ICO mania. If you guys were a part of it, like I invested in a lot of projects like Zilliqa, Tomochain, Icon, Polkadot, which is popping up right now, and a bunch of other projects, right? Then it was a very nice journey, right? Like crypto, like helped me understand a lot of stuff, right? It made me fall in love with decentralization. It made me fall in love with finance, right? Then moving on to 2019, I helped Blockstack, which is basically building a decentralized internet on basically just like Ethereum. You can build apps on top of on top of Bitcoin using Blockstack, right? And I helped them building their developer presence and community in India. Then moving on to 2020, I joined this decentralized finance company called No Network, which is essentially Asia's largest decentralized platform, which helps you borrow, lend, margin trade, and swap your crypto asset in a decentralized fashion, right? And now currently I'm working on a product, like helping out a product which is in staking derivative space in DeFi. And apart from that, I'm running this DeFi education community called Just DeFi, where we have like founders of, if you know, like founders of Aave, Compound, Synthetics, and some good DeFi protocols. And then we like time to time we do some events in which we talk and learn learn as well as teach about decentralized finance. Right.
Okay,
So
so
I'll
just a minute, Pratik.
yeah.
Before we start, I would request you to speak little louder so that people are able to hear it properly. And
Yeah.
secondly,
Okay.
uh,
Sure.
and also I would
Sure.
thank EasyFi and Matic Network who are sponsoring this event and who are backing us, because these are the projects which are working very hard to these projects are specifically from India. Like when we talk about Matic Network, it's like at layer 2 solution on Ethereum, and it's like one of the most popular layer 2 solutions out there right now, and being embraced by industry leaders. And similarly, EasyFi is coming, who are building lending money markets on Matic network on layer 2, who are solving this problem, which otherwise the high fees problem and slow transaction problems are there, and micro transaction micro loans as well as under collateralized loans problems are there on Ethereum. So this is we thank both of our partners who are right now sponsoring this event. And yeah, over to Pratik. Now you can go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I personally, to be honest, I love Matic Network. So, guys, basically, what Matic Network do in simple terms is like it scales Ethereum. Like Ethereum is costly, like very costly right now. Currently, it takes around maybe more than $5 or $10 to for every transactions. So, Matic Network is a layer two solution which like do transactions in batches and ease up the transactions. And if I talk about EasyFi, what exactly EasyFi is doing is helping helping us building money Legos and DeFi on top of Matic, and which will solve this gas fee problem, and you will be able to interact with the DeFi protocol without paying much in the gas fees, right? Currently, like if you are a whale, if you do a transaction worth $1,000, it's understandable you can pay like $10 fees, right? But if you are doing a transaction worth say $100, it's definitely not economical to pay like $10. So like EasyFi is gonna solve this, right? Yeah, I'm gonna give an intro about like what exactly we're gonna talk about today. So first of all, we're gonna talk about DeFi, which is basically decentralized finance. If you think about finance, it's as simple as if you maybe many of you must be investing in mutual funds or stocks or bonds, right? That's basically finance. And those basically are financial tools. And then when we talk about DeFi, it's like decentralized finance tools, which I'm gonna cover later on, right? Then we're gonna talk about DeFi. What's a CeFi? Which is basically CeFi means centralized finance. Maybe you can compare you can talk about exchanges like Binance or Huobi or OKX, KuCoin. Then old finance is basically traditional finance, like the financial tools, like again, mutual funds, stocks, etc. Then we're gonna introduce you to money Legos. Then we're gonna introduce you to some asset management tools, which they basically gonna help you understand and interact with decentralized finance protocols. Then the most important one is MetaMask. MetaMask, we're gonna talk about MetaMask, and we'll try to teach you how to use MetaMask. MetaMask is, if in plain English, if I talk about MetaMask, I think a lot of you must be using Paytm, right, or Google Pay, just to pay like 10 rupees or 100 rupees to each other or doing a transaction, right? So MetaMask plays the same role here, but to interact with Ethereum apps and to interact with Web3 apps, right? Then we're going to talk about how to reverse a transaction, or how to speed up a transaction, or how to cancel a transaction. So the thing is, sometimes what happens is on a Ethereum network, sometimes the transaction gets stuck and it even takes like 2 days or 3 days, I don't know, forever. So I will teach you how to like speed up those transactions so you can send your money or Ethereum urgently or any other assets urgently. Then we're gonna talk about gas tracker, like how much gas tracker is. Gas is basically the fees you pay for doing a transaction, right? We're gonna talk about how to like how much gas fees you should pay, how much GWI you should use, right? Yeah. So if we talk about decentralized finance, like it's a buzzy word, DeFi, right? And like this industry, it's popping up right now. Around in February, it was less than $1 billion. Now the industry is almost about $10 billion. Like imagine 10x growth in like 8 or 9 months. It's massive, right? So what is it? Decentralized finance is basically like decentralized like you can use these decentralized applications. You can use digital assets like Ethereum or USDT, which is basically a stable coin, which is basically like digital dollar, right? And DeFi refers to financial smart contracts. What are smart contracts? Like if you talk about contracts, like when you like a lot of you might be doing businesses, right? Like you do contracts, right? Like different deals or business deals or contracts. A financial smart contract is something very similar, but suppose this is a like a contract, like, but you can store it, you can like, I can do anything, I can write anything, I can change it or something, right? But a decent like financial smart contract is something, once something is written there, suppose like something is written like I have to pay uh $10 to Upinder, right? Once I write that smart contract and once it goes to blockchain, you can't change it, right? It's written there, it's go to blockchain, it's gonna be there forever. Maybe some aliens gonna attack Earth someday and everything is destroyed. But smart contracts will be there because internet will be there and technology will be there, right? Then we're gonna talk about decentralized finance includes like a lot of protocols, which is essentially a lot of different say platforms, just like we have in CEFI different platforms like Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc., right? And if we refer like if I'll give you a like very simple uh, definition about DeFi, it's just, it's basically something like um, I don't know how to simplify it so much so you every one of you understand. Like decentralized finance basically means like your own money. Yeah, like if you have money, it belongs to you. You have the private keys, it belongs to you, your own wallets. And it helps you like lend money or borrow money in a decentralized finance in decentralized fashion, and there is no third party involved. Like for example, if you when you take a loan right now, you go to a bank is the custodian between you and the lender, right? But in decentralized finance, there is no custodian, right? There is only blockchain technology, and which which you will be using. I think Upinder will like can also gonna should cover this. Would like to definitely love to know your opinion about DeFi. Like how do you teach DeFi to someone? OP.
I personally see DeFi like where so when we talk about DeFi is nothing but where you hold the control of your own assets. When you have your money or your assets in some third party storage which takes care of your assets, that's not DeFi. That's centralized finance, or that's OldFi, right? When we go to Binance, we give our Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies to them where we are trusting on them. So that is like CEFI, where those centralized finance, centralized fintech companies are actually, taking care of us, and we are trusting on them. And when we talk about DeFi, first of all, primarily it's all about this. It's about this when we take care of our own assets, right? So that is one thing.
Right.
Second thing is that like these assets and the execution of these assets, like when we move the assets or keep the assets in the wallets. The controlling of these assets, or the moving of these assets is done programmatically, right, through smart contracts. That means that there are certain rules that are written in the smart contracts, and these rules govern, this DeFi space. And that means the code is governing here. The code is controlling here. So we are relying on a code rather than we are relying on a person whom we trust, right? So that is what is DeFi about. That is what financial smart contracts are about. Like where they are automated enforceable agreements. Like they automatically enforce if the rule is written that it is going to happen, either this or that, right? Either 0 or
Yeah.
1. Then probably financial smart contracts are going to act upon it, right? Same way like the computers act upon it, like 0 or 1, right? So the conditions are there. So
Right.
these are nothing but conditional contracts. When conditions are written, right, either this condition will run or that condition will run. So that's how these smart contracts run, right? And when we talk about the infrastructure, like, so DeFi's protocol, like they provide a technical and functional base layer to build upon. That means that when we talk about Ethereum, on top of Ethereum, these different DeFi projects like, Aave is there today, like Compound is there today, right? On Matic, EasyFi is getting built. So what is happening? So these infrastructure projects are being built where, on these are like layers on top of Ethereum, right? And on top of these decentralized projects like DeFi projects, even further new layers can be built upon, right? So these are acting as an infrastructure, right? So DeFi protocols provide a technical and functional base layer to build upon. Second is middleware, like where DeFi, these are like, combination of multiple APIs and multiple access points, interchangeable modular functionality. So when we talk about composability, it means that there can be multiple combinations of different protocols. If one lending protocol is there, if one yield aggregator like Wi-Fi, Yun Finance has come today, right? Or decentralized exchanges have come today, right? Or any other decentralized finance application that has been built. So how these multiple decentralized finance applications can be, fit together in some kind of combination, that combination will eventually complement each other, right? Or it will eventually create a new type of use case when we compose or we join all of them, right? So that's the, that's what middleware is about. So then, as an application, like if we have to access these applications, DeFi products, how these DeFi products can be accessed, because these are Web3 applications. So they need some way to access. Like when we access Web2 applications, like we go to Play Store, we have an Android operating system, we have iOS operating system, where the applications are actually, built on those platforms, and those applications are hosted on Play Store or App Store. But here, since it is an open source, it is a decentralized world, right? Ethereum is a decentralized world computer. So on top of that, when applications are being built, smart contracts are coded. So how to access these applications? So these browsers, these wallets, like the web wallets where we hold our funds, they eventually become the gateway to access these Web3 applications. That is why it says that, the wallets are popular entry point today, like MetaMask. That is why we are going to share you how to use a MetaMask, right? How to access these different applications through the MetaMask. So these are mostly non-custodial type, right? They may be, less user friendly today, but the user experience is getting better by day, right? That's where now the most DeFi protocols are focusing on. Yeah, you can carry on, Zeke. I hope that
Yeah,
clarifies.
yeah, uh, yeah. That was really nice. So, like, basically, guys, if we talk about in simple, like plain English, if we talk to me like, what is DeFi? या plain हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. What is DeFi? It basically like controlling your own money, right? It's basically controlling your own money. Like, suppose, when you have like, say, like you have like 10,000 rupees in your bank account, in your HDFC account, you think it belongs to you, but it might not. If the bank fails, the money goes away. Like it has happened in the past, it might happen in the future, right? And when we talk about decentralized finance, decentralized non-custodial, it means it belongs to you. What is this? Like this is basically a piece of paper, right? And if you like print like how exactly money works, like government issues a bank note, and it says like they say like it has a value of rupees 10 rupees or 100 rupees, right? We exchange that value to each other, right? And in decentralized finance, you can create your own money, just like if YFI recently did, or maybe someone noble like Satoshi created Bitcoin, right? It was valueless, but someone in the community gave it some value. It started with $1, or maybe like with 10,000 bitcoins was exchanged with a pizza, right? And now it's trading around $11,000. So basically, like people give money like value to something, right? So in the and Bitcoin is the most successful and the best use case of DeFi, right? Like anyone can create their own money, and it depends on the community, it depends on the people, like whether it has value or not, right? And if we talk about like decentralized finance, what do you mean by like non-custodial? It means instead of like like trusting a third party like a bank or maybe someone else, like having your money, you put your money in your own pocket. Basically, it's as simple as that,
We
right?
have one
Yeah.
person who is raising
Yeah.
his hand for a question. Can we just ask?
Yeah.
Allow him?
Sure, definitely.
Oh, just,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to unmute him.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not able to unmute, I guess. Okay, we can take these questions later on.
Yeah,
Yeah, so probably
sure.
these questions later on. So let's go to next slide, I
Yeah,
guess, without wasting any time.
great.
I will enable the chats here.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Yeah, please enable the chat so people.
Okay, so
Yeah,
one person
please.
is able to speak now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You have a question.
Yeah, my name is Prasad. I'm from India. My question is there is fear in the market. This DeFi is something like which was ICO which happened in 2017 and 18, during which a lot of people lost their money in millions of dollars. So the question in people's mind is it something like ICO which is going to disappear in 1 or 2 years, and is it some from where this money is coming? Because they are giving 8%, 17%, 20% interest on some asset, whatever it is. So from where this money is coming?
Yeah, sure. That's a very nice question, actually. I should have covered this because I have seen like the whole ICO bubble. You know, what's the difference between DeFi, like the market, how the markets are doing now and how the markets were doing in back in 2017 is like ICOs. They were basically like a lot. There were a lot of ICOs. Like they were like promising a lot of returns. Like they're gonna do this. They're gonna change the world and all. But you know, whenever a new technology comes, right, along with that, a bubble forms, right? Just like back in 2000, right, or back in 1998. You know, when the companies like Google or Facebook were creating, there were like a lot of like the companies which were maybe trying to do some stuff which was not realistic, or maybe there were some people who were just trying to raise money just for the sake of hype, but was not but was there was no intention to build the product, right? And like moving on to like the ICO bubble, the same thing happened, you know, like whenever a bubble forms, there comes a lot of people who tries to like raise money or tries to make advantage of it, right? The same thing happened in ICO bubble. And now we do have there were some projects I invested in, like suppose like Zelica, Polkadot, which is a $5 billion network, right? I invested back in 2017, like in the whole ICO bubble, right? But those projects still remain there because that's what happens, you know, whenever a technology is like going forward, there is always like 95% of the projects always fails, right? And the same thing happened with ICO bubble. Now we talk about like DeFi, like yeah, the same numbers which were I'm gonna talk about. So DeFi was about $1 billion, less than $1 billion in February 2000, like this year, right? And now it's around 9.58 billion dollars, right? Around a 10x jump, you know. So we can definitely say like we might be in middle of a bubble, right? But the core difference between the ICO bubble and now is like we still have the main applications, right? People are actually using these applications. For example, people are actually lending their money. People are actually that's now you were asking now how these crazy APRs come from. How exactly you are able to make like 10% or 15% APR on your USDT reserve? Because it's again as simple as that, because someone other needs that money, and he thinks like paying a 15% APR or interest for a year is good, right? That's how it works, right? Now we talk about like there are a lot of coins like which are popping up and doing, like for example YFI, which started at around, I think, trading at around $35, and it's trading at around $35,000, which is a 1,000% increase right now, right? And it's I know crazy, right? Like sorry, 1,000x increase. Like I know it's crazy, but you know what happened with this Wi-Fi, and what happened with there is a revolution, new tech revolution, like which has been started with Wi-Fi. It's just because this is some money. Andre Cron started it, right? He created the protocol, and what he did is he created this governance token, which is like community decides what's good for the community, like what's good for the protocol, and what's bad for the community, what's bad for the protocol, right? He gave power to the users. He gave power to the users. You decide if it's good or bad, right? And that's what like Satoshi did. Like when Satoshi disappeared back in 2009, right? Satoshi gave power to the community. Then community decided to develop on top of Bitcoin, and now we have like Bitcoin trading around like $11,000, which is like crazy increase, right? 11,000x increase. So same goes with Wi-Fi. We might be in middle of a bubble right now, but it does have a use case. Like it's basically a yield aggregator, right? You can get like best APR among it, and the governance tokens, like how you decide between like earlier, like you know, our netas or our politicians used to decide what is good or what is bad for us by a like basically with this governance things, right? Now the community decides. If you have like a single Wi-Fi or something, right, you also becomes a part of the protocol, right? You decide and you vote what is good and what is bad, right? So like moving on. So if we talk about if it's a bubble or not, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I can say it definitely have a solid use case. And you know, the new monies keep getting created and keep getting created now, and it's basically kind of a loop. And I think this can you please mute Gokul? Yeah, thank you. So it's kind of a loop. For example, some of you if you were using Uniswap, you might have got like 25, which is like 400 Uniswap tokens, which is worth around, I think, $2,500 now, right? And it like you must be happy, like it's just built, like created out of thin air, but it's not. Uniswap is a protocol which has been there like since a lot of years, and it's like the value of over $20 billion has been exchanged on it. So it does have a value, and again,
1960
community
में जो बैंक
decided the
बनाने चालू
value
कर
of
दिए.
yeah. Can you please mute, guys? Can you please mute?
Hello. Is it audible?
Yeah, guys, we're gonna take. Can you please unmute? We're gonna take questions at the end of the session now. Okay, right? Thank you. Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about some numbers. Like like all the numbers which are like there on my screen. Total DeFi market is right now is about 14.65 billion dollars. Guys, please mute. Thank you. Yeah, total.
Pratik, you unmute your. You have to unmute your.
Yeah. I'm audible now. Yeah. Okay. If we talk about the total DeFi market cap, which is around $14.5 billion, and which like only constitutes of like only 4% of the total market cap of crypto, right? And it has a solid use case, and it might go big or might not. I don't know. I'm not here to speculate. I'm just gonna talk about technology. Current trading volume in DeFi tokens is roughly around $7 billion, which is again huge, and it gives you a gist of like the something which is like the market, which is around like $14.5 billion right now, and the daily trading is around $7 billion. It's like pretty huge, right? Then if we talk about Lexes is somewhat like there are two kind of exchanges in crypto, right? Which is like one like exchange like Binance or OP, like which is a centralized exchange. There is a centralized party, there is a centralized company which basically running this service, right? Which helps you like trade the tokens, right? And again, then there is decentralized exchanges like there in decentralized exchanges, the custody of the funds again belongs to you, like the power of the funds belong to you, so it can't be easily hacked unless and until your security is like good, right? So currently the volume on dexes, can you imagine, it's $6.2 billion. Back in 2017 it was like negligible, less than I think $100 million. So again, if we talk about like compared to ICO bubble, so you can see the growth. That's how we are growing, right? And if we talk about yield farming protocols, the total market cap is around $3.6 billion, which is around around 25% of the share of the total market cap. Like again, I'll just give you a gist of what yield farming is, right? Yield farming is something like, for example, you have this one USDT, right? You can lend this one USDT and you can earn another token, maybe a Wi-Fi token on some other token, right? By lending this, and you get the additional APR to it. This is simple. If we talk about like in plain English, we're gonna like fully understand it in other sessions, like future sessions, right? And if we talk about how much value was logged in DeFi, decentralized finance protocol, back in 2018, it was just mere $86 million. In 2019, it was around $243 million, around a 3x jump, like 300% pump. Back in 2000, early 2020, it was around $1 billion. And in during maybe COVID is a trigger, right? Like I don't know, maybe COVID is a trigger because this has like jumped to $1 to $10 billion. People have like a lot of time now to trade. They're at home and all, like, so they keep on pumping. And that basically another thing is there's a lot of liquidity into the markets now, right? Yeah. So the TVL is the total value logged in a smart contract or a platform. It has been increased 900%. Like 900% is a lot, right? So that tells us like the market is growing. We are growing. Bitcoin is growing. The ecosystem is growing. Ethereum is growing. Blockchain is growing, and everyone is growing. Basically. Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about like if we categorize DeFi into different things, right? First of all, there are decentralized exchanges, which I have already covered, right? There are multiple decentralized exchanges like IDEX. Ether Delta was the first decentralized exchange. Then IDEX came, right? And again, I'll come again like come to what is decentralized exchange is simple. It's an exchange, but the holding, the custody of the funds belongs to you, right? And everything happens on chain, so there is like there is no shady stuff or anything, right? and everything happens, and you can see each and every trade which is happening, right? So that's the major difference between CFI exchanges and DeFi exchanges, right? Now, if we want to talk about different asset management tools, right? I'll just probably show you guys some asset management tools. So before that, we're gonna see DeFi Pulse, DeFiPulse.com. We're gonna give you all these links in maybe through email or this deck. We're gonna share, so you can have you can basically interact with all these things, right? So this is basically DeFi Pulse, which shows like the entire market, right? If you look at this chart for just not much, just for 1 year. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like back in January, it was around $1 billion, and see the chart. It's growing and growing, and like it went to like 9.6, then the market dumped a bit. Now it's around about like $10 billion, $9.58 billion, right? These are all the different DeFi protocols, the decentralized platforms where all this value is locked up. Total 9.58 billion is locked up. First is Uniswap, which is exchange, which is basically a decentralized exchange where you can provide liquidity and you can swap tokens. Like suppose you have a Ethereum, you have one Ethereum, and the price of one Ethereum is say $400. So basically you can swap your one Ethereum to 400 USDT, right? Yeah, as simple as that. And there are like unlimited amount of tokens here. Like you can create your own token and you can list it there. Yeah, definitely there is some basic threshold, but it's that, right? Aave, which is again a lending protocol for decentralized finance, and then Curve Finance is again a DEX. MakerLao is a lending protocol, and then you can like go through this website, check out this website later on, guys. Now, if we're gonna talk about asset management tools, right? Asset management tools is like basically wallets, right? So suppose if you don't want to use these protocols on a computer, you want to interact maybe through your mobile, which is convenient for all of us, right? Most of the time we use like this over like the machine which I am using right now. So Argent is a very nice, very sleek wallet. Like it gives you again like power of holding your own funds. Then Trust Wallet is a very good wallet which you can use on mobile. And if we talk about on laptop, like on PC, there is a wallet called MetaMask which you can use and interact with all these DeFi protocols, right?
In fact, MetaMask can be used on mobiles also now.
Yeah. MetaMask can be used on mobiles, so we are growing. Then if we talk about analytics, DeFi analytics, right? I'll just quickly cover. Maybe it's 8:14 already. Okay. Okay, these are some trackers. Like analytics is basically as simple as like DeFi Pulse, which I have shown you, right? You can see like how much like liquidity is there in a particular protocol, how much value is locked up in a particular protocol, right? For example, I told you like in Uniswap there is about $1.86 billion. In Aave there is $1.4 billion, and just like that there are different protocols, right? And other DeFi analytical tools, if I just loan tracker, yeah, maybe you can use like loan. Etherscan is not open. Not Etherscan, loan scan. Yeah, I was about to open loan scan. So loan scan is basically a tool in which you can compare all the yields. For example, all the yields, how much money you can make by lending, how much percentage of like interest you can make on via lending all these assets. For example, if you have USDT, you can on Curve USDT pool you can earn like 16%, like 16% a year, right? And just like that, you can compare all the different yields and on all the APR on different coins, different stable coins on loan scan, right? Then you can basically check out. You're gonna share this DeFi Prime website with you. You can check out all the tools, just curious enough, and then try different things, right? Decentralized exchanges. One inch is a decentralized exchange where again you can swap your tokens in decentralized fashion. Then balancer is again something similar, curve and all, right. Yeah, moving on, moving on. Decentralized money markets. I think OP, you should cover something. Huh?
Okay. Decentralized money markets are nothing but lending protocols where other secondary tokens can be created. Let's say you like you deposit certain tokens into contracts of those lending protocols. When we talk about so you get the similar token. If you die, you get if you deposit die in compound, you get C die. Now the value of both assets is, if you deposit USDT, like you get CUSDT in compound, right? So like similarly, when we will these are the money markets, right, where you can mint tokens in 1:1 ratio, like the secondary tokens, and these tokens minted now, they can be used on any other protocol. That's how the composability will be built, right? If you have let's say minted CDI or CUSDT, or let's say CBAT or Ethereum, CETH, right? So that means any Ethereum or any ERC20 token which are supported by Compound, right? That means those money market protocols. So now you can go ahead and swap those CDI or CBAT tokens with any other token, right? Or you can use those CDI token for lending or for any other type of function on any other DeFi protocol which supports those type of assets, right? That's how the composability is built out. So that's what these money. Similarly, is when EasyFi is also building the same thing on Matic. Like if you have USDT on Ethereum, now you have USDT on EasyFi, right? I may be wrong. Maybe you can ask the community of EasyFi like how they're building. But like if you deposit USDT on Ethereum, like you will get similar USDT on Matic, right? So now you can use that USDT on Matic or on different DeFi protocols, on Matic, right? So EasyFi is one of the protocols, but you are getting USDT from EasyFi protocol, and that's how EasyFi will be a money market protocol, right? This is about decentralized money markets. Now, why are we saying decentralized? Decentralized means that governance or the decision making of those protocols is done by the community, by the token holders. If you have a token, right, the community who is holding the tokens, right? Like when Compound, how this DeFi hype actually started, it started through yield farming. How this yield farming hype started? Through Compound. When Compound actually came up with their own tokens. So they launched their tokens through farming, right, in month of June, in middle June, right? So then people who actually farmed or who got tokens by locking their assets, or Ethereum on Compound, now whatever share of Compound tokens they have, accordingly they have the voting power. So according to the voting power, whatever proposals are made on Compound, like whatever changes has to be done in Compound protocol in the future, or whatever modifications or upgradations has to be done on Compound protocol, they are being voted by the Compound token holders. Similarly, this is going to be done on EasyFi protocol also on Matic network, right? So this is kind of similar to staking, right? Where the people who are staking their tokens and they are getting some tokens back as a reward. But apart from getting token as a reward, when the people are able to participate in the voting, in the governance, now these tokens become the governance tokens also, right? So that's where the decentralized money markets are emerging, as a whole. Yeah, I hope I explained it properly.
Yeah, you explained it pretty well, man. Yeah. Moving on, like if we like simply say like why DeFi is, I believe like personally, I don't know about like else. I'm not speculating or what. I think like why this technology is growing so much and it's keep on growing. What happened is like it's our money ultimately. Like in our bank account, it's our money, but we never been given the power to decide what's good for us, what's bad for us, or anything, right? But with these decentralized finance protocols, right? If you are a token holder, it doesn't matter if you're a small token holder or a big token holder, you get the power to decide what good for us and what good for the protocol for the basically suppose you are using HDFC Bank. HDFC banks never ask you or never tell you never ask you कि क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, which we should do and which we shouldn't do. Yeah, maybe they just, you can maybe just fill up a survey form, but does they really listen to you? No, they doesn't, right? But here you're the holder, you're the decision maker. If you're the holder, if you're holding even like 10 crore rupees in our bank account, you didn't decide ki what should be like how exactly a bank should function or everything, right? But here you can decide like what's good for the protocol and what's bad for the protocol. I think that's the main technological breakthrough we have with this technology. And if I won't speculate about like how big it can go in terms of like billions of dollars or anything, right? But I can speculate it's gonna grow, like technologically it's gonna grow. And when the technology grows, ultimately the money as grows as well. It might take some time. There might be a bubble. Maybe we are in middle of a bubble. Maybe this goes down, it settles down, and then goes up. I don't know. It's just a cycle, right? But ultimately, I feel it's gonna grow, and yeah, we're surely going to the moon. Right? Yeah. Then we talk about, if we talk about decentralized synthetic markets. Decentralized synthetic markets basically means like syntheticizing, like create a synthetic of anything. Like we can create a synthetic of gold in cryptos. We can create a synthetic of Tesla stock in crypto. We can create a synthetic of Reliance stock in crypto, right? Anything which is like in real world, which we can basically create a synthetic of it in this, it can be helped out, it can be worked with data protocols and like price oracles, right? Suppose in a price oracle it is written that gold, uh, 1 kg of gold is worth rupees 40,000 rupees, right? Then that protocol can fetch that rate, and decide like this is the value, and it can be syntheticized. Like you can by this. Why again, it's a technological breakthrough, and synthetic is the best platform for it. I actually like it. I don't know about which is the best platform. And maybe like you can create your own synthetics markets in the future, right? Like for example, you want to trade Tesla stock or in crypto. Currently we are in India, we are unable to trade Tesla stock or Uber stock or Google stock. Like with time we might see this happening, right, in synthetics markets. Then yield aggregators basically means is something like, yield is something basically the interest you can generate, the interest you can earn in a different particular protocol. Yield aggregator means it aggregates the yield for all of these protocols, all of these platforms, and gives you a best interest rate maybe automatically, or you decide like how much interest do you want and which kind of pool do you want to use, right? Then stable coins is something as simple as, like I already talked about it, like it's a digital dollar. One USDT is equal to like like rupee terms, it's around I think 75 or 74 I think. But it's one USDT is equal to $1, right? That's basically a stable coin. There are like multiple stable coins like USDT, USDC, DAI, which is a decentralized stable coin, which its value goes up and down based on the protocol, and no one controls it. Imagine a digital dollar which no one controls. You should definitely like read more about DAI, and we might cover this in later on, like in other courses, right? But it's a very vast course, and you guys would be able to, I think if you guys do this like with 6 weeks with us, I think definitely you're gonna learn a lot, and maybe you're gonna earn a lot as well, right? And yeah, decent data oracle service is basically Chainlink. Why Chainlink token? You guys must be knowing like Chainlink token. I think I bought my first Chainlink token at around $0.50 or something, right? It's trading around, I think, $15 or something, which is like crazy. So these are basically decentralized data oracles, which helps overall market like to decide a price and decide the price oracles. And there are a bunch of other things which we're gonna cover in the future. Then again, if we talk about decentralized insurance, it's something like all these decentralized protocols, this is just code, right? This is just line of code, and it can be hacked, right? You should know this fact, like all these decentralized protocols are fragile as well. So you should never invest more than that amount of money which you can afford to lose. One bug in the code or something happens, right? You might lose your all of your money as well. So just be cautious, and maybe just keep on like taking out some profits, and just be cautious about these things, right? It's just piece of code, and which obviously can be hackable. But yeah, if the code is open source, if the code is open source, the community like decides and secure the code line and audit the code, which makes it unhackable. But yeah, what decentralized insurers do is basically, the best example is Nexus Mutual. What they do is, suppose you lend $1,000 in a DeFi protocol like No or maybe Aave, right? What you can do is you can buy a $10, you can pay them suppose $10 premium, and you can cover your $1,000. So even if the protocol gets hacked, you get your money back, right? So these are basically decentralized insurance. What is prediction markets? Prediction markets are simple. Like suppose you must be knowing like there are elections in the US this year. So suppose what is a prediction market? A simple prediction is Joe Biden versus Trump, right? So you can bet on it. You can bet on it with who's gonna win. And prediction markets, you can basically you can bet on a lot of stuff. Maybe you can create your own prediction markets, like you bet with your friends, right? Like कि ये पेन 10 रुपए का है या ये पेन 100 रुपए का, 100 rupees, is it worth 10 rupees or it is worth 100 rupees or anything, just giving an example. So prediction markets what allows you to do these bets in a decentralized fashion, right? I don't know if it's a good example or not. Yeah, moving on. These are all the concepts. I'll give you a gist of it, just gist of it, and we're gonna share this PDF with you, so you can just be curious and like yeah, just use Google Baba and do things. What is flash loan? Flash loan is something like a loan which again, as per the name sounds, right? Flash loan, right? Key say in the same contract itself, you can write a contract, and in the same contract you decide, suppose I'm gonna lend $10, and I'm gonna pay the $10 in the same transaction itself. You write the contract, and it happens when you execute the contract, it goes to the blockchain, and the transaction happens, everything happens within the same transaction. For example, I say to a contract, I write a smart contract key, give $10 to Upinder, then from Upinder give $10 to maybe Gokul, then वहां से वो $10 give it to Aave, then send it to maybe some other person or some other protocol, and end it to this, right? And end here, right? ये लिख दिया, we have written this. So like a flash loan is something, then you execute it, it does the same in the same transaction itself. Everything happens in the same transactions. And उसके अंदर क्या होता है? But why is it valuable? For example, suppose a coin, like suppose Ethereum is trading on at a price of $350 on a different exchange, and on a different exchange suppose it's trading on like at $375, right? So there is arbitrage, which is basically a money making opportunity of $25 on this like different between different exchanges. So you write a flash loan like buy $10 worth of $100 worth of Ethereum on Aave on X exchange, which the price is $350. Then sell it in the same transaction. Then sell it in on a different exchange, Uniswap, जिसके ऊपर price is around $375. So a splash loan is as simple as that, right? Then yield farming we have already covered, like when like basically use your assets and yield farm and make your APR and make some good money, right? Staking is something. Suppose staking is simple. I'm basically trying to build, like helping out a project. I'm a core part of the team. It's a staking derivatives project. Staking is simple. What you can do is, suppose you have 100 Ethereum, like, right, and you are not using them. What you can do is, okay, I'll just Ethereum is not a proof of stake coin, but like suppose you are a Tomo token, right? Suppose you have 100 Tomo tokens. What you can do is, instead of just keeping them idle, what you can do is, like, suppose you have decided you're gonna stake the like keep on these tokens for a year, right? Instead of just sitting idle in your wallet, what you can do is you can stake these tokens and you can earn like 10. Currently the APR on Tomo chain is around, Tomo wallet is Tomo coin is around, I think, 10%. So you can earn 10% year, right, on your asset, which is anyways you are holding. It's basically, suppose it's as simple as that. Suppose you are holding like I would say like 10,000 rupees in your HDFC bank account, right? And you can earn like 5% APR, which is 4% interest rate you earn, right? But it has to be kept staked until you earn. The day you take out your money from your bank account, you stop earning the interest, right? It's as simple as that. But you can stake it, and you can stake your coins and get the additional APR, additional benefit. What are liquidity pools? Liquidity pools are something is like we gonna cover in the future topics. It's a very vast topic, but to just to give a gist of it, liquidity pools are something like you can create your Ethereum and USDT pool on Uniswap, right? Suppose you have one Ethereum and you have $400 worth of 400 USDT, right? And you can add liquidity to this pool, so others can use this liquidity, and you get something in return. Basically you get Uniswap token in return to, if you like provide liquidity to this pool. What are liquidity providers? It's basically you providing liquidity. What is slippage? Slippage is something like on different exchanges there are different prices, right? And suppose for one Ethereum you might get $400, but if there is not enough liquidity on a particular exchange, तो मान लो अगर if you are like exchanging, instead of one you are exchanging like 100 Ethereum, so what you have to do is like you might get a less price instead of $400 according to your slippage. Your price might slip like 2% or 3%. It depends on the like the liquidity or basically the volume on a particular exchange. For example, Binance Pay, suppose karo you have like 1,000 tokens, 1,000 bitcoins. आज बिटकॉइन का प्राइस इज ट्रेडिंग एट $11,000, but slippage आएगा when you like try to sell the whole 1,000 bitcoins in one go. You might dump the price to $10,000 or maybe $9,000 or maybe less. It depends on the slippage, right? So this is what slippage means. A bonding curve is basically what it means is the price, like it's a bonding curve with a sale. I think it's a very, very like technical topic, so we might cover in the other topic, like future. We are running out of time. I have another meeting at 9, right? So
Cover all
yeah,
these different topics later on.
yeah, yeah,
Just to like everybody note down these DEGEN concepts so that they can
yeah,
look at the Google, and we can probably share discuss about
yeah,
these coming sessions.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
have
yeah. That's
show MetaMask also. I think we can cover this.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So just quickly wanna cover this one, like slide. What is different between DeFi, centralized finance, and OldFi, which is traditional finance? Verification in DeFi, there is no verification required. Like there is no KYC, There is nothing, right? In centralized finance, you have to do the KYC. In traditional finance as well, you have to do the KYC. The custodian, there is no custodian. You hold your own funds. In CFI, you are basically like trusting Binance, and in old finance, traditional finance, you are basically trusting HDFC Bank or any other bank. UI UX, it's not much clean in DeFi yet. Yeah, but I do like it's a very debatable topic. I do like curves, UI. UI is like basically US user experience and design of a protocol. And in CEFI, it's very clean, crystal clear. You get to know like what to do, what not to do. Like there are many tutorials and everything. Exchange is totally decentralized. Everything happens on chain in the decentralized fashion. In CFI and OldFi, it's centralized. Like you don't really control anything. It's the provider, it's the technology provider who control again autonomous. Like it's autonomous. Community decides what good is bad, what is like good and bad, right? In CFI, there's a very tight control, and in especially again in banks, it's very tight control. You just can't approve a policy just like that, first of all, government approves a policy, government approves a law, then it gets like implemented. And if we talk about DeFi, it's global. Like there is no borders at all, because there is no KYC, there is no stoppage, right? Like in basically the best why I love DeFi, and why I love Bitcoin. Suppose you are a person in Africa, and a third world country, or maybe in India, and you are a person in US. The protocol treats you equally. There is no barrier. The same way, but if we talk about in CFI, there it is global, but for certain restrictions, there are certain restrictions, like you, a Binance user can't, like if you're a Binance user and you are in US, you can't access Binance.com. You have to access Binance.us, right? And in OldFi, there is no global things. There are, but it's basically for whales, not for like everyone, right? If you are a small person who like just want to invest like 10,000 rupees, it's very challenging. It's very difficult to do that. Cross-chain services, now it's getting started. Like cross-chain means like you can interact with different protocol, different blockchains. For example, Ethereum is a blockchain, US is a blockchain, and there are like multiple, like n number of blockchain. Avalanche is a blockchain, right? And now cross-chain support is getting started. In CeFi, it's already there, because like it's a centralized thing, so they can integrate everything. You can integrate Avalanche, they can integrate Ethereum, they can integrate Tomo chain or anything, right? In OldFi, there's no cross chain, there are no chains. Trust, rules written in the code, like whatever, like what I have explained earlier, like whatever you write in the code itself, it becomes a thing. For example, आपने लिख दिया, if OP like owes me $10, so it's written there, it can't be immutable. Or if this or this, if this happens then this, and this happens then this, right? If you write this, right, it can't be changed. Like once executed, and once it goes to the blockchain, it can't be changed. Like code can be changed, but the whole community will know ki open source code mein what has been changed. इसके अंदर the trust is with the people's business. For example, CZ, you might be, if you are with crypto, you all might be knowing CZ, right? CZ from Binance. So basically, you trust him and his team with your funds and everything, right? In OldFi, it's the government. You decide, you give control to the government. They decide what's good for you and what's bad for you, right? Composability in DeFi, it's yes, and others, it's no and no, right? Transparency is like the best thing again about DeFi is it's totally transparent. Like you can literally, so like things are so much crystal clear, like bolte hai na, as clear as water, right? It's like that if you know the code, if you know your shit, if you know everything, like know how to do it, like kya hai kya nahi hai. Or maybe if you don't know, just watch videos or logo ki, or maybe watch tweets about the smart person, like smart, like read things from smart people, like what are they saying, if it's a scam or it's real, right? Then you maybe judge. For example, Vitalik is a well-known person, he won't easily like he won't really like promote a scam or something, right? So maybe just be curious again, just ask questions. Maybe you can ask to me or to anyone else in the community on Twitter or Telegram. It's a huge community, right? Fiat on ramp is basically something like how do you convert your like rupee or maybe your dollars, like which is in your bank account, into cryptos, right? Which is now being developed slowly in DeFi space, which is was already there in CeFi and OldFi. And it's very important, again, because ultimately, like if I want to buy this pen or if I want to buy this mobile, I ultimately have to cash out, at least now, right? Because people are not much accepting crypto, especially in India, right? So you have to cash out. So on ramp is like something similar, like it's exactly the same, right? It like on ramp is like off ramp to on ramp to off ramp means basically like uh, converting your rupees which is in your bank account to crypto which is in your wallet or like a exchange, right? Yeah, I'll like quickly go through this. Like risk or disadvantages between DeFi and CeFi, right? इसके अंदर what there can be a code, there can be a bug in a code, right? And which eventually can drain the whole money. Suppose there is a bug in a Uniswap contract, so it can drain, like if a hacker comes, it can drain like the whole amount, the whole money. Might not be the whole money, but a very good chunk of it, right? And then again the other disadvantage, a risk is like security of the fund depend on admin OPSEC keys. Like there are multiple DeFi protocols, and in some protocols the keys are open and you can see it's crystal clear ki it can be trustable and all, right? But in a lot of protocols, it's not, like it's semi decentralized, not fully decentralized, right? So you can't really actually trust. Maybe something happens. Suppose I am a DeFi protocol operator, and suppose matlab, uh, suppose ki I want to hack or I want to have your funds, and if it's semi decentralized, the code is not open source, I can have access to your funds, right? Then there is another disadvantage, it's slower and there is a lot of fees. So basically it's as simple as that. If you want to like have your assets like completely safe, you have to pay a price for it, right? For doing a transaction on Binance, maybe you will be paying like $50 or something. But for a like if you want to do the same transaction on Uniswap, you have to pay a hefty price of currently around $5 or $10, right? Which is a lot. But again, like there are disadvantages and advantages to it. Liquidity issues. There are some liquidity issues, like there might be slippage. Suppose suppose you want to sell X token, like which is not really a token, X token, and there are no liquidity on an exchange, so you might not be able to sell them as well, right? Your own funds. Then no scam control. You see, when something is decentralized, you can no one can control the scam or something. You have to be educated yourself. Like it's like, I think like most of you guys are smart enough who's taking this class, so that at least to understand all these things, so you will be better, like accordingly adjusting your risk, right? There's no terrorist or financing control, right? Basically you can't control anyone, so it's as simple as that, right? And then just 1 second, just be I'm not able to see this one. Once again, yeah, shit, sorry. Yeah. In CeFi, depositor needs to trust the organization, just like Binance or KuCoin or any other one. A KYC is definitely required up to a threshold. Binance like allows like up to 2 Bitcoin you can trade for free, but other than that, you have to do the KYC. Permission, basically, it's a permissioned system, while DeFi is a non-permission system. closed source decisions were made behind closed doors. Basically, like these companies decides what's good and what's bad for a platform, right? But in DeFi, like you decide or the community decide what's good and bad. And the major disadvantages of CeFi is like hacking of an exchange can be done, right? And like exchange can be hacked, then it can drain out all of your funds. But in DeFi, like if the code is solid, if the code is bulletproof, then it definitely literally like the chances of hacking is like negligible, or like very very rare, right? What are the advantages of DeFi? Again, it's again obviously exactly like opposite. Full, you get full controls of your funds, right? You decide, like you have the authority of your funds. One second. And there is no KYC required. There is, it's a programmable money. Like you can create your own money. You just write like a piece of code and you create your money. It's the community decide whether that money has value or not. Suppose मैं इसके ऊपर I write down 10 rupees on top of this paper, right? Would you believe ki if it has value or not, right? I don't know if you believe or not, right? But in programmable money, if your code is good, if your like everything is good, then community decide it has a value. If this thing has a value or not. Just like government prints a 10 rupee note and you give value to it by exchanging that value, maybe like exchanges it with this pen or something, right? It's global, it's totally open source, like decentralized code is open source, composable, interoperable, like interchangeable, right? And in CeFi, no need to keep seed phrases and all. Like in one more thing, like while interacting with these DeFi protocols, suppose there is a password or a key phrase which is there, you have to keep it very very safe. Maybe just download it on offline or keep it very safe. Once it is gone, your money is gone. There is no forget password option here, right? And in like CeFi, no need to keep these phrases. You can easily like click forget password and change your password via email or something. No need to manage your wallets. Like interest rates sometimes are very interactive and all. Yeah, and like let's move on. Money Legos, we gonna cover this, guys. We are already running out of time. We have to cover all of the things. We're gonna cover this in the future. Now we'll just quickly probably just use MetaMask once, and we'll basically end this session today. If you can see, like this is MetaMask. We're gonna do a transaction using MetaMask today, right? And this is basically my another wallet. I'm gonna send today like Ethereum. I'm gonna send zero point 0.1 Ethereum, basically $38 worth of Ethereum, right? I'm gonna check on Ether gas station. I'm gonna check how much is the GWI right now, so my transaction can easily execute, right? So the trader like ASAP, I want it within a minute. So I want to do it like in 183 GWI. If I want it fast, like I can wait like probably for a minute, 2 or 5 minutes, and do that. Standard, it might take a lot of time, or I don't know, it depends on the protocol. It depends on the network. So yeah, I have like going back, I'll just click the send button. I'll copy paste the wallet address in which I need to send the funds. I'll enter 0.1 Ethereum, which is like $38 worth. And in the like GWI, I select like currently it was how much? It's 183. So we'll send a fast traction. I'm gonna burn a lot uh, of money today just to uh, teach you guys. Okay, not a lot. I'm gonna burn around $1.5. Yeah, and just select next, and I'll just confirm the transaction. Done. So I just sent. I'm gonna check this transaction on. I'm gonna click. Just once again, I'm gonna click View Etherscan, and I can see this transaction right happening there on blockchain. See, this was the transaction I sent, and it's already done. Imagine like, and I just sent like $38. It would have been like $100 million or maybe $1 billion. Imagine like sending sending so much money. Like it was $38, but it would have been like if I had like instead of this, I wish I had. If I had like 100 or like 10, like a lot of Ethereum, $1 billion worth of Ethereum, I would have been able to send this within a flash of a second, right? To maybe doesn't matter if I'm in India or US or anywhere, right? What it's gonna cost me is like this is the transaction fees. It costed me $1.48, which is essentially like around somewhere around 120 rupees, right? But now it costed me a lot. Like for $38, it costed me like 1.48 with a GWI of 183 because the transaction fees is not very high right now. You can check the transaction this GWI on this platform on just 1 second on this ether gas station. You can just refresh, you can see how much gas fee you should be using right now. Quickly moving on to the like what else was
Can you
yeah.
just tell them how to set up like a wallet? Maybe you can also tell them how
Yeah,
to
sure,
access
sure.
any application.
Any wallet. Correct. I'll do that. Okay, suppose this wallet I already had. So suppose like once you do is what you do is like in MetaMask, you go to Google or maybe just MetaMask. You go to this. You say Chrome and you install MetaMask. You click on it and you I've already installed it. तो मतलब इसके अंदर there will be an option called install MetaMask. You click on it, you install MetaMask, right? And what happens? Second is yeah. Then this will open this like. But before this, you gonna be like you'll be creating your MetaMask account. You'll be setting up a password. You have to keep it very safe, and you'll be getting a seed phrase which you have to like keep very safe, right? It will create a new account of its own. I'll just create a new account just now on Ethereum blockchain, just like that. I'll call it Prat, my Pratik. I'll just create an account just like that. Done. I just created an account. I can send money. I can buy Ethereum. I can send money. I can add money, or I can receive money as well by copying this here. On clicking on Pratik, I can copy the wallet address. I can send it to OP, and suppose if I want OP to send me like $100 or 100 Ethereum, I can just copy it and send it to his WhatsApp, and done. He can send me like he can click on his MetaMask send. He can copy. He can create. I'll just yeah.
Can you
He
just
can
tell them like how to add any new ERC20 token here? Like they
sure
you go
sure
to CoinGecko, you
sure.
copy the
Yeah. So you go to like for that, like suppose you have like $100 or USDT or any other token in your wallet, but it's not showing you here, right? So you can also add your assets. Just 1 second.
just go down.
Okay, you add the token. You can add the token. Either you can search for the token like USDT. It's already added, or you can just click the contract. You can just type the contract address, which you will find on Etherscan. Suppose like for a
Maybe
contract address
CoinGecko is better.
for
Like CoinGecko, you will get the verifiable contract address.
yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'll just tell them about I'll just show them maybe Uniswap token everyone is hyped about.
Yeah,
I'll
unit.
just show them that. Yeah, suppose there's a Uniswap token, right? This is the contract address, like contract copy, right? You go to MetaMask. Oh, man. You go to MetaMask, you go to add token, you add custom token, just copy paste the contract address, nothing else. Token, oh, it's already added. You just copy paste and just click on next, it's added, and it will show you how much tokens you have. Like I have these, I don't know, I don't even remember what kind of tokens I have. Like I have different tokens here, right? Okay, that's that. And like the last thing which I would like to cover is okay,
Unstuck the
I'll do
transaction.
a mock as well.
That's important.
Okay, I'll unstuck transaction. Suppose okay here, this is my wallet, right? And suppose, okay, not this one.
If
I
you
have so many wallets. Yeah. Suppose I copy paste the address and suppose I do a transaction of point one Ethereum again. Okay, I'll do $38 worth of Ethereum transaction. But in advance, like currently the gas price is like 162 minimum, right? But I mistakenly or I don't know, knowingly don't want to burn much fees instead of $1.5 on suppose in advanced I miss Jan पूछ के I do it like 21 GI or extremely low, right? It's um yeah, 21 GUI and I just send and I do the transaction, right? In the activity I can just check on ether scan. Guys, it's this transaction, it's showing ki it's gonna take 37 minutes, but I can bet you like it's gonna take like forever, maybe a year or something, right? So what I can do is like suppose I mistakenly did this transaction somehow, or I did it like at that time that GUI was like 21. I want to speed up this transaction. What It's very simple. Like I just copy this nouns which is 392. I go to my MetaMask. I can either speed up this transaction from here. Just click on speed up. I select the GWI. How much should be the GWI? I'll select like 165 or something, like whatever, and I can do this. Else, the other option I have is like I click on send, and 1 second. This was the wallet address, right? Yeah. Let's see. I click on send, copy the wallet address again. I do the 0 Ethereum transaction. And in the advanced option, I now okay, I'm gonna do another transaction now so that this transaction happens, right? Yeah. Yeah. How much is the July? 183 now, right? Yep. 1 second. Okay, I'll just
like
yeah.
you have to send it to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Myself. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do a try for canceling it or for speeding up. Okay, I'll do that.
Even
I'll just this. ठीक है. Okay, I'll just copy. I'll just select my own address, 0 Ether transaction, right? I just want to cancel this transaction, right? Save. Next, in the nouns, it is very important. I have to click on 392, which we saw. I'll show you after this. Done. Right. I'll show you the nouns. It was written here, right? On the ether scan part, it was written here nouns. So I'll be able to cancel this transaction. So there is another transaction going on. Once that is done, I think the previous time, okay, this is success. I burned again $1.5, and I think the previous transaction must have been the previous transaction has been cancelled, has been disappeared automatically, right? Which I mistakenly did, right? So this is it, guys. If you have any quickly, we can quickly take some questions, right? If I have any, yeah, please do.
Okay. So, people
Hello.
can unmute yourself now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do it one by one. I request everyone to go ahead one by one. Vinod, please go ahead first.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
First of all, thank you for your presentation, and I really appreciate your presentation. In the morning, I done some mistake like sending a uni coin to some mistaken address. So,
Yeah.
there any way to replace it?
No, it's not. There is no way. Like I told you in the course, like once you do a transaction, it's immutable. Once the thing goes to the blockchain, it's immutable. It can't be immutable, right? So are disadvantages of it as well as advantages. So advantage is like definitely key, like in banks, these things can be changed. Even faulty transactions can be changed. And disadvantage, if you send to some other wrong address, then it can't be, you lose your funds. It's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I go next?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, a very basic question, though you touched upon this briefly. There are some projects, some DeFi projects which have been in existence for a few years. For example, Aave, right? Or a
Yeah,
couple of other
right,
projects. And
right.
I mean, they were there in the during the ICO phase as well. Why, uh,
Mm-hmm.
nothing much has changed significantly in that project, right? So why the special attention now? Why are
Like,
these projects getting the special
I'll
attention
I'll
now?
I'll tell you. Yeah, definitely. That's a very good, very good question. So Aave was an ICO phase back in 2017, right? And
Yes.
but they finally launched the protocol back in 2020 January this year. Imagine, like, I'll. It's a very interesting question. I'll show you the chart of Aave.
Hmm.
Like, currently there are 1.4 billion dollars locked in Aave contract,
Hmm.
and if we just go to the 1 year chart, right? You might think कि Aave का token might be there like since 2017 or something, but the
Yeah.
protocol itself was there, like went live on 9th January. And see this, like this is what like the crazy thing is,
Yeah.
on 9th January the total TVL logged was only 340K, like it started with $300K, right, which was like literally nothing compared to 1.5 $1.34 billion right now, right? So the TVL is increasing, Yeah, can you please mute? Yeah. So see the chart. The TVL is increasing like in millions of dollars month every month, right? And now, like since this DeFi craze, which has been started since like new kind of like tokens came, new money came, and new people came, new users came. So again, that's what happens to any market, right? When the market grows, the chart is like exponential. Like sometimes you see the chart, and you might see this chart like itna easily it's not growing. It's not much growing like a crazy extent. It does have grown crazy. But again, you might saw like chart ki kai बार क्या होता है कि there might be some possibilities कि something doesn't move for years. Maybe Apple stock, it doesn't move for a year or a 2 year or 3 year. Then there's some trigger happens, and then just it goes like exponential. So it's just like that, right? Yeah.
Got it. Um, did any or was any DeFi protocol launched between 2017 and 2019, or was it
Yeah,
2020
yeah,
only?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But they didn't
yeah,
get
definitely.
so much
There were
traction.
yeah, definitely. So the market itself, the market itself was very pretty small, right? If I'll just again, I just love numbers, so I'm again gonna show the chart. See this market, like DeFi almost started back in 2017. The TVL was like $4. Now we are on $9.5 billion, right? So like we did some mistakes, new protocols launched, maybe hacked, and didn't work. Sometimes worked, sometimes didn't work. What was missing was basically governance tokens, right? Which was basically missing. Like when a technology happens and when a technology grows, what happens is it slowly grows and slowly like get adoption, right? Sometimes it take years. Interestingly, if you talk about 1995, right? People used to call internet scam. Can you believe? People used to call internet scam ki it's never gonna work. Like people were like so spectacle, it's never gonna work, like it's a scam or something. Why would people use it? Why would ye wo sab bolte the, right? In fact, like if you go back in the past, when horses were there, horse carts were there, people used to say ki people would never use cars. Why would people use an engine? There are horses and all. When
Yeah.
the technology grows, it takes time, but when it actually gets some adoption, right, it goes like from this to like this chart, what we are seeing here, right? So that's just the case. I think that's what it is what it is, right? And that's why, right, it's growing so much. And yeah, definitely, like it can go like down as well from here, maybe like from 9.2 it went down a little bit in August, right? Middle August, like in before end of August, to 7.4. It might go down again. Maybe it might get dumped. Maybe some protocol gets hacked or something. Some trigger happens. Just
Right.
like right.
Absolutely.
So that's that. Yeah. Next question.
Hello.
Yeah.
So recently, Indian government like told that they're going to ban cryptocurrencies. Like, I just wanted to know your
Yeah.
like
Uh,
views and opinions on that.
uh, Indian government didn't really tell anyone like they're gonna ban crypto. It was more of a clickbait article. If you are referring to the Bloomberg article, right? It was more of a clickbait article. If you just read that article properly, it was written there according to our sources. Like I'll tell what are those sources. Just reveal those sources, then we might talk about it, right? Indian government never said this. Even then, I think there was this minister. I am missing his name. He cleared out. We never really like issued anything like why even media might have done it because they might have some vested interest in it, but they never officially did anything like Indian government. There was no stance. Yeah. Next question, please. We'll quickly just take one or two more questions. So just
Yeah.
please
So
be quick. I
yeah,
have
just
another
a
meeting. Yeah.
quick question. Um, if a token gets listed on a centralized exchange, say Binance, then the gas fee is quite low. But if you trade the same token on a decentralized exchange, the gas fee is quite high. So in order to save gas, that's a better option, right? To trade the token on a centralized exchange. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I missed out something. Can you please repeat the question? I'm really, really sorry.
Okay, I said when a token gets listed on a centralized exchange, like a DeFi token gets listed on a centralized exchange, the
Right.
gas fee is quite low in a
Yeah,
centralized exchange. However,
yeah,
in a decentralized exchange, when if you trade the same token on a decentralized exchange, the gas fee we have to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
put a lot
Right.
of gas fee. So
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
to save on the gas fee, it's always advisable to trade the token on a centralized exchange. Is that correct?
True. It might. It not. I won't advise it because again, like you might like if it's a short term, you might just go to Binance. Suppose like there was a token, Uni token itself recently got listed, right? If you swap that on Uniswap, you might pay like $10 or $15 gas fees, but the tokens belong to you in your address, right? Always belong in your address. That's why the fees is like so high. In centralized exchange, Binance decide how much fees you're gonna pay just to maybe incentivize the user. They charge so much low fees, and actually the fees is low because it's not happening in a custodial way. So it's up to you. Like it depends on you on which trade exchange you want to trade, right? Whether on a decentralized or centralized or decentralized, but both have their advantages and disadvantages. Suppose Binance shutdowns, not Binance. I'm just why I'm referring to Binance. I love Binance, to be honest. Uh, Suppose a small exchange, very small exchange, shuts down, then you lose your funds like forever. Your funds is gone, right? Then just imagine like just for saving up like $5, you might lose $10,000 or $100,000. Then I think then it becomes advisable to use Uniswap over X exchange, right? So yeah, that's that. Next
In
question,
that
please.
in
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
sense, any coins that are there on MetaMask are safe, right? We don't need to transfer it to some other wallets in the long run.
Yeah, yeah. MetaMask is yours, right? MetaMask is yours. Like the custody of the funds belongs to you. Yeah.
As long as the seed phrase is with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
one
right.
question
Right.
from my side.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Saurabh. DeFi Prime is one of the portal which you mentioned that a good source to understand the
Right.
details on DeFi projects. Any other
Mhm.
group or community or source which you can recommend to study more
Uh,
for DeFi upcoming projects, specifically for DeFi?
uh, Specifically for DeFi, I run this Just DeFi community on Telegram @ Just DeFi. If you search, you'll get to know. So just be curious. Just search on Telegram Just DeFi, or maybe you can search Koinfox. You can like get a lot of answers there as well. On Just DeFi, I'm active there like 24/7 almost there. So even you can ask me things directly. And on Coinfox, like OP is there. Even on Just DeFi, OP is there. So yeah, you can like use these, and maybe we'll share a list of tools in maybe in emails, right? Where like we'll create a list of tools. For example, this is the Just DeFi group. we have created, like I run. And this is the list of tools. There's a podcast, exchanges, newsletters, tools, and everything. And just be curious enough and ask questions. Yeah.
Just a
Next
question
question, please.
related to this, Prateek. Do you remember in
Yeah.
the ICO phase, whenever we were investing in ICO, there was a particular due diligence process which we used to follow, right,
Right.
to
Right.
evaluate a project.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a similar
Yeah.
due diligence process here? Because
Perfect question.
yeah,
Definitely there is. Definitely there is. Definitely there is. That's a perfect, very, very interesting question. I like, I love this question. So the due diligence is basically simple. Like if it's a DeFi project, you'd see the code, right? You see their GitHub, how much good is the code. If there is no code, then you basically, what you're gonna basically bet on is the team. How good the team is. Go through their LinkedIn's, what they have done in the past, what are their thoughts. Just go to their social channels, and we just talk to them in their communities, right? Ask questions, like hard questions, right? Technical questions, non-technical questions, and everything, right? And there are like 100, 15 other metrics which I do, like check their admin opsec keys, like how decentralized the protocol, and how big is the market, how good is the idea. And yeah, there are like 100 different other metrics which I like follow. Maybe you can chat in the Just DeFi or maybe in the Coinfox. I'm in both, and
sure,
then we can talk about it. It's a very interesting question.
sure, thank you.
Yeah,
Sir,
guys, there'll be the last question. Yeah, yeah, please.
sir,
Yeah,
we are use only the small corner of Ethereum.
yeah, yeah.
Why we use a Tron smart contract, sir? Why we are
I'm not
using a
getting your
Tron smart
question,
contract?
Google.
Why we are using a Tron
Why we are
smart contract? Using a
smart contract?
Tron smart.
Why we are using?
Yes,
Mhm.
Tron smart contract.
Okay,
Tron.
Tron,
No, no,
Tron smart contract.
Tron.
Tron. Tron.
yeah.
Okay. Got your question. Why
TRX.
we are
TRX.
using Tron?
So
Yeah.
Yes.
So is yeah.
this question may be relevant to USDT, right? That USDT is these days getting transferred through Tron instead of
Yeah.
ERC, like it's most preferred. Maybe you can answer that.
Yeah. Got it. So
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Why we? Yeah, got it. Please mute. I'll answer the question. Yeah. It's as simple as that. So to incentivize the users in Tron blockchain, there is no fees. Like when you transfer USDT from Tron to Tron wallet, there is no fees, because just to incentivize the users, they have built their blockchain that way, right? So this is a specific use case of their blockchain, right? In Ethereum, you have to pay of like $5 or maybe more. But if you talk about like decentralization, maybe like you should judge protocol, maybe Tron versus Ethereum, based on how open source it is. Like I can like fully support and say like Ethereum is fully open source. I like Tron. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really looked into their code and everything. So I can't judge कि वो है. So and I can just say this. It's, and again, I love Tron. मतलब I have like, I don't hate Tron or anything. I just don't hate anything. I'm just being neutral with everything, right? And I even use Tron myself to transfer transaction from one wallet to another wallet. I use Tron. But like when something is free, I would say there's a code. When something is free, there might be a cost attached to it. Like for example, Google is free, but they take all your data. Like if you go to google.com/my activity, you might get paranoid. They check all and every click of yours, right? Every click you do, they know what exactly you're doing, right? And when you use a decentralized internet or maybe a decentralized protocol, then no one really, like maybe like if you use decentralized internet or decentralized browser, so no one can track you, no one can see your activity, anything. So it's as simple as that. There might be a cost attached. Yeah,
Even
there will be the final one.
hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, even adding to Prateek's point, why Tron is like having a zero fees, because we have to understand this phenomena. Like whichever blockchain we talk about, we always should be looking at the consensus mechanism of that blockchain. If the consensus mechanism of that blockchain is decentralized in nature, it's highly distributed in nature, then it is going to cost something, right? And if it is obviously, like if it is being controlled by a handful of people, or it is not sufficiently decentralized, then probably that transaction fees is not passed on to the users. It's probably in one or way other way is being consumed internally, right? The costing of that, because if the protocol is completely decentralized, then that costing is going to be distributed among the users. That's how the protocols work. So when we talk about Tron is like everybody knows that it's being controlled by Justin Sun. But when we talk about Ethereum, the consensus of Ethereum is not controlled by Vitalik Buterin, right? It's actually controlled by the miners. So because Ethereum is decentralized in nature, that's why the fees of Ethereum is quite high. But in case of Tron, it's not that case.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice. Guys, any other critical questions if you guys have, you can maybe just ping me directly on Telegram. You can ping Upinder on Telegram, or you can like follow us on Twitter, Upinder. Just maybe create a screenshot of this or something. And yeah, it was great like
Ping us in the
to
group.
have you guys here. Yeah.
I said better ping us in the group rather than personally, because we often miss that.
Yeah. Personally we might miss it. तो वो है, maybe just Twitter पे tag करो या फिर just group में post करो. And yeah, that's it, right? Any other critical question you have? Like, okay, we'll take the last one. Okay, I'll be quick. Last one.
Anyone
It's
out there?
amazing. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Thank you guys. Thank you for taking your time on a weekend to like be here. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot everyone for joining this session. And I thank Prateek also, who came specially for this session. And if anyone has any doubts, they can simply reach out to any one of us. And we are almost available in JustDeFi and Koinfox official group all the time. So you just tag us, and we will answer whenever we are available there. And thanks again to our supporting partners, as well as our sponsors EasyFi and Matic Network. That's all for the day. Thanks, Prateek. Okay, and let's enjoy IPL today.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye guys. Bye.